With higher interest rates, increasing numbers of consumers are shunning traditional high street lenders and finding new ways to save and borrow. The so-called social lending websites, which allow individuals to lend one another money, are touted by their fans as an ethical alternative to the big banks, which can even beat their lending rates. But is it really a safe place for your money? John Sparks investigates.
A personal loan, mortgage, a new line of credit. It seems so easy, so inviting. Yet in the real world, the high street bank is losing its friendly face. Customers wonder whether they're getting a fair deal, whether banks have their best interests at heart. Still, the bottom line has never looked so good. Bank profits at record levels, stellar growth in investment banking, fund management. When you talk to people about their local banks, you hear the phrase necessary evil come up a lot. And news about big banking profits and high charges aren't going to change that view. In fact, a recent survey found that 76% strongly agreed that their banks were greedy. 81% thought their banks were self-interested. But short of stuffing money under your mattress and loaning it out to your friends, what are you supposed to do? This is James Alexander. He was so frustrated with big bank profits that he now runs an alternative, a website called Zopa.
To my mind, it cannot be right that 5 of the 13 largest companies in the UK, so 5 of the FTSE top 13, are all banks.
Zopa is an online marketplace where savers lend money to borrowers. The bank is sidestepped, with customers dealing directly with each other. It's the country's best-known example of social lending. Here's how it works. Nick Taylor loves fish, chips and saving his pennies. He's put £10,000 into Zopa.
I just like the idea that it wasn't sort of faceless like a bank, you know, like rather than just putting your money away and not seeing it for ages, being able to really feel that you're making a difference.
And that difference was money to part-fund John Sadler's home decorations. John says the process is a bit like the film It's a Wonderful Life.
George Bailey explains to his savers just where their money is and how it's not in the back of the bank in the safe.
The money's not here. Well, your money's in Joe's house, that's right next to yours, and in the Kennedy house, and Mrs. Maitland's house, and 100 others.
Unlike the troubled bank manager here, Zopa is doing very well, feeding off discontent with the banks. It claims growth of 100% month on month. What about security? How do you make sure you get your money back? Well, what Zopa do is they spread your savings between lots and lots of different borrowers, and here you are, you can see them now. So if a couple of people don't pay you back, and here's a couple of people sloping off now, the main part of your investment is still protected. Still, you've got to trust people to pay you back because, unlike high street banks, your savings aren't insured. Still, Zopa boasts a very low default rate of just 0.05%. They say it's all down to the relationships that are struck between borrowers and lenders. The train at Holywell Lane is permanently delayed. Those tube carriages are actually cutting-edge office space for artists and designers in the heart of London, and Oro Foxcroft is the entrepreneur who got them there. Yet the high street banks didn't think much of his plan.
Barclays Bank said yes at 20%.
So 20% per annum for...
20% per annum interest rate, which is obviously impossible to work with, especially on a social project like this. And HSBC said, you've got to be dreaming.
Mr. Foxcroft found the solution with a different sort of social lender. Faisal Rahman set Fair Finance up on the back of his credit card. He provides loans and advice to people the high street banks won't touch, and relies again on trust and transparency to get the cash back.
Nobody leaves Fair Finance with a no. It's always a question of, OK, we can't lend it to you today because of this. And if you do the following, then we can lend it to you.
So you give them a plan, a budget.
Exactly.
If they can abide by the budget, then...
Exactly. It's not a question of that we put their details into a computer and if it says no, they just go away and have no idea why.
Perhaps the high street banks do have something to worry about here. Social lenders offer only a small range of services, but they are booming on the back of their human take on financial risk and reward.
John Sparks on social lending. And our